culture is much more expansive and allows room for more exploration of basically society in general, who we are, how we live, and so on. And so when I saw that there was an invitation to write pieces about the blue economy and marine environment, I actually started pursuing, because the area that I was interested in was the sort of fishing off season. And so I actually wanted to talk to a fisherman. So I reached out to Trisha Lovell, who works with fisheries, to get suggestions and ideas. And that didn't pan out. But as you know, as a journalist, you pivot to what, when something isn't panning out, you pivot. And I realized, talking to Trisha and her really working with me, trying to put this piece together, that Trisha is an actually really interesting, dynamic person, and that I really love writing human interest profiles, and that her journey, because she's also hashtag gal from Artis Antigua, because we used to walk to school together when we were little, going to Holy Family School. So I was like, how do you get from Artis Antigua to a life in marine culture? We saw the beach, I don't know, maybe twice a year on public holidays, So I want to sort of track that journey. And also because she's involved in sort of the legislation and the policies related to fishing and to the marine environment, I thought she'd be a good person to give me sort of a big picture look, and could also tie in the question I had about the fishing season. So it was her journey that was interesting to me. And then because while I was talking about that whole relationship with myself and the sea, her and the sea, and just Antiguans in general and the sea, the whole idea of the marine culture angle came into play, realizing that we live on an island, but so many of us are afraid of the sea and don't have a relationship with the sea. And so I spoke with, I reached out to Crystal Clashing, who is, as you know, one of Team Antigua Island Girls, who was one of the, did that historic row across the Atlantic, but she's also an avid swimmer and diver, and one of our, just sort of has represented us internationally. And I wanted to talk to her about the swimming culture, our relationship with the sea, and if I was off the map with us having sort of a trepidatious relationship with the sea. And I wasn't, but it's changing. And so those conversations were interesting to me, and that's what I wanted to explore, because something that Crystal said kind of sort of pointed me to why this was important to me as a sort of context for the conversation. Because if we're talking about marine conservation and the marine environment, then we're asking people to care. And to ask people to care means that they have to feel some connection to it, some investment in it, some relationship with it. And if, like me, you grew up going to the beach a couple of times a year on public holidays, that relationship is going to be tenuous at best. So how are we changing that? So I wanted to talk to Crystal about our relationship with the sea. She's herself a self-described water baby, but she teaches a lot of people who have that, because she's a swim instructor, have that sort of hesitant relationship with the sea. So we spoke about that. And one of the things that she said was, in order to care, you have to come to know it. You have to be a part of it. And you have to, I remember the first and only time I saw the coral reefs, and you're like, this is a whole world that I haven't seen. We live here, and there's a whole other world just all around us that we haven't seen because of our fear of the sea and our fear of swimming and all of that. And this is sort of the first step towards sort of inbreeding in our spirits the passion for marine conservation.